Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Oh. Doilam, wake up. Uru Yisheinu Mishanashchem. What a beautiful day. Boys, I have a lot of chizuk. Yesterday I announced that I would like to really get a bunch of people to join Bava Metzia. We had over 1,200 people join Kiddushin. We had 1,000 people join, over 1,000, Megillah, Tainus, all those, the smaller Mesechus. Why not Bava Metzia? During Shir, an anonymous person donated $5,000. And during the day, I don't know if I should say their name. I don't know if it's anonymous or not. We'll say it anyways. Ahron Fraiman, $3,500. Elilyahu, $5,200. And Tzvi Jacobs, $3,500. That adds up to 480 Gemaras. We're literally halfway there. Baruch Hashem, in one day. Today's the final day. Guys, hold on a second. Yeah, so even though the maximum was 100, people still gave. Two people gave over 5,000 and 5,200. So I guess they added a special day. Yeah, you could fit. It was a glitch. You could only donate up to 100. Rabbi, so you don't have to donate 5,000. You can donate $35. You can bring one person to Torah. One person. The zechus are unbelievable. Unbelievable zechus. So Yishkoyach gave me a lot of chizuk. The shir wasn't even over, and somebody already donated 5,000. Wow, Rabbi Zaret, 750. I'm not good at math. How much is 750 divided by 35? That's 50 Gemaras. No, more. 21. What? 21. Oh, that's right. 35. Yeah, I did the math wrong. 75 divided by 2. Yeah. 21 people to learn Torah. Halavai. Good morning, Rabbi said it's been a long 4 months, but we're now coming toward yet another siyum. A very hearty Mazal Tov to all our finishing Bava Kama shortly. The siyum are an excellent opportunity for all of us to come together as we complete yet another and be mechazik each other. I don't know what's going on over there, but I hear somebody over my own voice. What's pshat? Hey, sit down, Mendy, have a seat. Yeah, but you should do that beforehand. As Rav Eli said, it's not about the Daf, it's about the Yomi. We're pleased to confirm that the Manchester MDY team for Bava Kama, the Shimi Leafman is mamish on steroids here. When it comes to bringing people to Daf, he doesn't slow down. I think it's him. Okay, so there's another mechazik each other for him, especially after the long Masechta where many have fallen off. As Rav Eli says, it's not about the Daf. We're pleased to confirm the Manchester MDY team for Bava Kama will be on Motzei Shabbos Parshas Kisisa, the 2nd of March at 8:30. The seal will be at Stencourt, something like that. Stencourt, 30 Singleton Road. Please see attached poster for more details. As the caterer needs to know quantities, pre-booking essentially. I'm saying all this because he's the first one to jump in. So I'm going to say everything he wants to say. Seats are offered on a first serve basis, so please register early. Sponsorship for the event is most welcome and appreciated. Please let us know you would like to sponsor anything towards the usual small shortfall. If you'd like to buy the hadron, so we can make the necessary arrangements. Kitzer, go to jotform.com/8. Kitzer, you'll see it over there. The way they spelled Bava Kama is super interesting. Bavo Kama. Bovokama. Bavo. There's still time to sign people up and get your free Gemara for Bava Metzia, which starts in just a few short newbies. Join dafyomi.com. Current, growtheshir.com. What that means is if you're part of this year and you want a free Gemara, you want Rabbi Zaret to pay for your Gemara. You don't want to give another person a Gemara, but you want to take one. So what you do is you bring somebody to the shir. It's okay. And you go to growtheshir.com. And the new guy goes to join.yomi.com, and both of you get a Gemara. Looking forward to seeing you at the Siyum Hashem. Best regards, MDY Manchester Siyum Committee. Not just him. MDYCM.com for all the other ones. Rabbi Isai, this is not a happy email, but sometimes we have to read these emails. This comes from the sister of this person. Dear Rav Eli, Archaim David is a long-standing member of your shir. He's the son of Rabbi Bernard David and the son-in-law of Rabbi Y.Y. Katz. He's a very chashuv younger man. He's a younger man. He's in Koilel. What's a younger man? If you check Archaim's WhatsApp status, you'll see that he posts a link and some video clips to share daily. Thinks that's the highest level of loyalty. He even put up daily he puts up links. He even put up posters of the shir when we're on a holiday in Scotland. Ahron Fraiman has just been diagnosed with cancer and will be starting chemotherapy on Wednesday, the 14th of February. His plans for chemotherapy is listen to this, his plans for chemotherapy is just to watch MDY. And knowing him, he will also make some small video clips to share on his status too. I would give Ahron Fraiman, his father and brother-in-law, a huge boost of chizur, okay? Wish him refuah shlema. If you'd like to say capital 2, his name is Ahron Fraiman ben Chana. So today's shir sponsored the Refuas Ahron Fraiman ben Chana. As you can see, we're a big MDY family. Many thanks, Mrs. Kaufman, Manchester. That's his sister? What?
Yeah, his sister.
His sister-in-law. Dear Rav Eli, Mazal Tov. It's a lot. Mendy was his classmate in South Africa. He was his chavrusa for how many years? Almost 10 years. Chavrusa in what? What did you guys learn together? Masechtas every morning. So the Olam knows it. Leiby's brother, big part of this year. Dear Rav Eli, Mazal Tov on the new Eina call. Sorry I missed you yesterday, but I was in the ear on the way to Milan. My stop over the Manchester had 2 hours before I could check my bag. So what better way to spend an hour in Milano? Malpensa Terminal 2. Planning to be back in April. Regards, Michael Lowe. And Rabbi Isai, the subject is Am a Dafyid. I like that subject. I underlined it. Yes, I watched the Super Bowl, but who cares about halftime shows? What does a Dafyid do? I learned the Daf. Thank you for giving the shir. Mazel Tov, there's an empty bottle of beer over there while he's doing the shir. Gevaldik. The Masechta is sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. The Paras HaChodesh, Yosef Bas Chaya, Lili Nishmas Zechaya, and Lili Nishmas Moshe ben Zechaya. Paras HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, here he is. He just donated a lot of Gemaras. Over 100 or more. I don't remember how much he gave, but it was nice. Ahron Fraiman, it should be a zechus to rebel if you continue siyadta dishmaya and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Paras HaChodesh, Mazal Tov, on Shalom Aleichem on Zoom. What, your father's on Zoom? Rabbi David, Chazak ve'ematz. It's a tough kufa, we're going to get through it together. Mazal Tov Ahron, Rav Eli, and the entire mishpacha on the birth of Sophia Ruth. Paras Hayoim, may Hashem cancel Avrohom ben Rochel's bad decree and send him complete yeshuos. Amen. Paras Hayoim, Lili Nishmas, פיגא bas Shlomo Yosef, by your grandson Yehuda. Paras Hayoim, Mazal Tov on the bar mitzvah of Yisrael, Bassman. He should continue to give the Yiddishe Nachas his parents, Elilyahu and Chana Bloom of Bassman and the extended Bassman and Levin families. By Zaidi and Bobby, Peretz, Chaim, and Zahava Levin. Paras Hayoim, Latzlocha Baruchnis, Ubegashmias, Luchol HaMishpacha, Shkoyach. In honor of the month, in honor of the zechus, for an easy childbirth to his daughter and healthy baby. Yashar Koyach. Rabbi Isai. Today is Daf Kuf Daled. We're starting on Daf Kuf Gimel Amud Beis. We could back it up a little bit. 6 lines from the bottom. Even though we did it, we could just do a quick chazara. I have a shaila for the olam. Again, you get negative points. If you heard this last night, then you scream out the answer. And if you learned in Koilel yesterday the Daf, you also get negative points. How do you convey a stash of cash to your friend if that cash is in another country? Both of you are over here, and you want him to acquire that stash of cash. What kind of kinyan could you use? Chalipin. Who said Chalipin? Why not Chalipin? Why did you say that? Because you went to Shir yesterday? You get negative points, by the way. You didn't go. Wow. The fact. Really? Why didn't you say anything? Mazel Tov. Sivin Toivu, Mazel Toivu. Yay, Lano, the Chayis. I Sivin Toivu, Mazel Tov. Ah, Mazel Tov, beautiful. Are you doing Shnai Mikra? Klal Yisroel, hey, Simon, Mazel Tov. Oh no. Zechus. Shimshon Feder. Mazal Tov to Shimshon Feder, big part of the shir every day. A Talmud Chacham, he knows his stuff, and he's right. No tachnum because, yeah, but you tell your son who's a chassan not to show up on a day that there's already a bris. To show up on a day, huh? On Thursday, no, we don't want him. We want to say tachnum. We like to say tachnum. So, again, the question is how, if you have money somewhere else and you want to give it to somebody, so somebody just said chalipin. So chalipin is a good answer, but it's the wrong answer. Chalipin does not work on money. It works on everything. It works on computers, bicycles, metaltalin, not on cash. The way to do it is kinyan agav, which we're going to talk. We spoke about it. We'll talk about it again. Kinyan agav is that you give the guy buys from you a tiny piece of property, really small, and agav that, through that, you could be kind of any metaltalin, even money. Okay, so we had in the Mishnah, a person steals something and he wants to do tshuva, and he swore falsely, he didn't steal it, so first he has to return the gneva. And he has to go all the way to Madai to return it. Madai is in Chutz La'aretz, so if he's in Eretz Yisrael, he has to go, some say that's the Chiddush, that he goes even to Chutz La'aretz. And then he gives a chaimesh, he gives a 25% more to the guy that he stole from, and he brings a carbon. Just want to tell you a quick vart from the Vilna Gaon. He says that the word Madai, the place Madai, why did the Mishnah say Madai? You should go all the way to Yerushalayim. I don't know, you should go all the way to New York. So he says that it says in the pasuk, Meir Aleim es Madai, Asher Kesav lo yachshoivu v'zov lo yachvutzu boy. That even though in Madai, the money means nothing to them, you still have to go all the way out there to Madai. MDY, yeah. Ooh, Shalim Rivavi. Huh? Depends for what. It doesn't. But through money, we could bring people to Torah. So, the Gemara starts off saying that it seems like you go to Madai only if you swear, and only if you swear is a problem. If you swear, you have to go to Madai. If you don't swear, you don't make a shvu, you don't have to go to Madai. So it comes out, says the Gemara, it doesn't go not like Rebbe Kiva, not like Rebbe Tarfon. We go through the whole sugya. Why? Because Rebbe Tarfon says, even if he makes a shvuah, he doesn't have to go anywhere. He takes the gneva and he drops it right there in front of whoever he thinks might be the person, even if it might be 1 out of 5, drops and walks away. If you have to go to Madai, that wouldn't work. He could give it to the Shliach Bezdin and Shalom Yisrael. According to Rebbe Akiva, even if he doesn't make a shvuah, you have to pay each and every person. You would have to go to Madai. So our Mishnah says you have to make a shvuah. You have to go to Madai. It doesn't go not according to Rebbe Akiva, not according to Rebbe Tarfon. So now we're holding 6 lines from the bottom. Perhaps it is Rebbe Tarfon. Our Mishnah is talking about where he made a shvuah sheker. He lied that he didn't steal, and that's why he has to go to Madai. But if he didn't swear, so Rebbe Kiva would hold that you have to pay each and every person, and Rebbe Tarfon says, no, you drop it there and you walk away. It's because he swore that he has to go all the way to Madai. Why? Is talking about when he swore falsely, he has to give it to him. A special pasuk regarding a shvuah. So our Mishnah is talking about he made a shvuah, he swore falsely, and therefore he has to go all the way. He has to go all the way to Madai to give it back to him. He argues and he says, you don't have to swear falsely. Even if you don't swear falsely, you have to go and make sure everybody gets it. And that's a knas d'Rabbanan. Reb Tarfon, so that's the Gemara. What happened? If a person swears falsely, look what it says in the pasuk. It says Visvadu is chatasam. Person does tshuva. he regrets it. Visvadu, what's visvadu? He admits that he swore falsely. Then he gives a chaimish. So it's talking about that he admits. So it's not enough just that he made a shvua. He has to also, he wants kapara over here. So if he swore, that means he had to admit. But if a person admits that he did wrong, that he stole, so regardless if he made a shvua or not, he has to pay each and every one according to Reb Tarfon. So why do we have to say that he swore? Nachamal. He swore, therefore he had to admit it. If he admits, then of course he has to pay each and every one. The Sanya, my area of an ishba, so why do you have to say that he swore? Even without swearing, since he admitted his wrongdoing that he said he stole. The Sanya, I stole from one of you 100. I don't know which one. He has to pay both of them. Why? Because he admitted. And so what if he admitted? He wants to be yotzi dei shamayim. This is a very important point over here. He wants to be mekayim the mitzvah. He doesn't mind now. He doesn't care. The Bezdin going to force him. He wants to be yotzi. He wants to make sure that he has no problems when he gets up there. They're not going to have a tayin on him. So, therefore, he has to go all the way to Madai. So it's not negeh if he swore, didn't swear. Since he admitted, he has to go. So as Taisvas, if that's true, that he wants to be yotzi dei shamayim. So let's go back to the story that we had yesterday. We had a Maisa b'chassid echad. Story b'chassid echad. We said in the whole Shas, when you say Maisa b'chassid echad, it means either Rav Eli Bava or Rav Eli Elilyahu. Shalokach mishnei bnei adam, like 3 lines down. It starts Maisa b'chassid echad, 3 lines down from where it becomes wide. And he didn't know which one he stole from, and then he came to Rabbi Tarfon. We're talking about Rabbi Tarfon over here. And he came in front of Rabbi Tarfon. What did Rabbi Tarfon say? Drop and run. Oh. Says Taisvus, there's an afkamina over there. He bought it, and to be yotzi, it's a big chiddush. It's a big chiddush. You want to be yotzi your chayv. You want to be yotzi yidei shamayim. If you stole, you have to give to every single person. If you took an esrig from the esrig market and you don't know which table you took it from, says Taisvus, tremendous chiddush. To be yotzi even yidei shamayim, you don't have to give each and every table back. You put it back in between on the sidewalk. And you tell everybody, hey, by the way, I don't know where I took the esrog from. It's over here, go fight it. Or, according to Rashi, give it to the Bezdin. Okay. Says the Gemara, Elo Marava. So finally, and this is it, we have 6 more lines of the Sugya. Who's our Mishnah going according to? Our Mishnah says that if you stole, you have to go all the way to Madai. Seems like you have to swear. Does it go like Rabbi Tarfon? No. Does it go like Rabbi Kiva? No. So who does it go like? Elo Marava goes like both of them. Shani Masnisin, the Kiva, the other Leman Gazli. Our mission is different because it's talking about he knows exactly who you stole from. It's not the case where it's 5 people and I don't know who. He knows exactly who you stole from. And he admitted to it. Since he could give it back. Since he knows who it is. The guy went away to Madai. So now he's telling him, listen, I'll hold on to the money until you get back. So, Hilkach, Nishba, if he swore falsely, so now he wants to be a nice guy. He wants to hold on to the money and make sure the guy gets it one day. Then keeping the boy kapara over here. There's no machlokes between Rebbe Kiva and Rebbe Tarfon. Then what? Since he swore falsely, he cannot hold on to the money. He has to go all the way and give it back to the guy. If you want to be yotza, dei shamayim, you have to go back all the way. You have to go to the end of the world. Go to Mother and find him. But if he didn't swear falsely, again, a guy stole something. He's a bad guy. He stole. Now he wants to do tshuva. He's a good guy. He never swore falsely. He didn't go to Bez and say, "Oh, I swear I didn't steal." So now it's different. I can hold on to the gneva. I don't have to go to the end of the world. I'll wait. It's like a deposit. It's a pikadon in my hand. I'm holding on to the gneva until you decide to come back from Madat. Okay, so bottom line is, this is what we have here. Let me just throw it all together. So, a sikum, the whole sugya. We have a machlokes Rebbe Kiva and Rebbe Tarfon if he doesn't know who he stole from. You have 5 people. So Rabbi Tarfon says you put it in the middle, you give it to the shlich bezin, and you walk away. Rabbi Akiva says no, you have to pay each and every one. Now, if he swore falsely, bezin are not mechayev you to pay back. They can't be mechayev you. But if you swore falsely and you want to be yotzi dishmaya, now you have to give. You have to go all the way to the end of the world ad modai. If you didn't swear falsely, then you could hold on to the gzela. You just hold on until the guy decides to make his way back from modai to where you are, and then you give it back to him. Brand new sugya, huh? It's a pekadon. It comes like a pekadon. I'm holding. Yeah, it's an escrow. I'm holding on to it for you. I want to give it back. I have all the rots, and it's not my problem that you decide to go to the end of the world. When you come back from vacation, you get it back. You're on a safari. I have to run all the way to South Africa now to find you. Yeah. Takonas Hashavim. But when you swore falsely, we don't have it. Says we learned.
If he gives every single one, that means 4 people are lying.
Right.
And that means 4 people are like stealing.
Yeah.
So one person gets off his punishment, and because of him, another 4 people.
Don't steal it, not on this problem.
Exactly.
No, he's got it.
Okay, 4 people are lying, but it's not. If we're talking about the guy that wants to be yoytze his chayv, he has to somehow make it right. He doesn't know how to do it, so he has to. There's 4 bad people. So that's the. Now, I want to give back the gneva. I cannot give it to the guy's son. I cannot give it to the shaliach. Maisa Shahaya in England now, the principal of a school calls up this wealthy dude. He says, you didn't pay tuition for a bunch of months. So he says, oi, taka, okay. How much? Okay, it's a nice amount, 2,000 pounds. I'll bring it over. A month goes by, the guy doesn't bring it over, so he calls him up. What happened? He says, what do you mean? I brought it over. I gave it to your kid. And so you gave it to my kid. Why are you giving 2,000 pounds to my kid? So the principal asked the kid, do you remember the guy come by with a car and gave you yeah? Knew what happened? I don't know. I was playing this, that. I don't know what happened. So the principal knocks on the door, the next door neighbor's door. Did anybody see an envelope? So he finds the guy, he says, yeah. Neighbor says, yeah, I found an envelope. I thought it's mamish matarim and hashamayim. I needed money for Pesach. The mamish, straight from Hashem, no name on the envelope, 2,000 pounds. I bought matzah, more. What do you mean? I made Pesach. It was unbelievable. So the guy called up the Gevir and said that's what happened. So the Gevir said, okay, if he found it and that's what happened, let him have it. I'll give you another 2,000 and Am Yisrael. But here's the story: you can't give it to the kid. You give it to the kid. It's not. You're not yoytze. You're chiyuv of giving to the kid. This is a tough one. What does it mean, loy l'shluchai? A messenger, what's wrong with a messenger? Shluchai shalom kamayis. So that's what we're going to be discussing now. At the end of the day, it's not a real messenger. If it's a real messenger, it's great. Itmar, shaliach shaso be'edim. So it's a little tough to understand. We know the concept of shlichos. We know that a woman can send a shliach to receive a get. As soon as you put it in the shliach's hand, she's divorced. Shluchai shalom kamayis. What about in general, person says in front of Edim, I'm making you an agent to go get money. Does it work or not? If the person doesn't say, this is what the tricky thing, we're going to say, of course, no. But let's just take this case right over here. Simple case, you have a malva, he lent money to the loiva. I have this right now. I gave money to a gemach in Ramah Bet. I didn't realize it's such a. He says, "No, you can't. I want my money back." He says, "No, I don't have that much." He gives out millions of shekel. A very, very honest, big Talmud Chacham. So I said, "Okay, I'll give him some money." So now every Rosh Chodesh I go there and he gives me a small amount. Like 10% of what I gave him. He says, I don't have that kind of money, and only on Rosh Chodesh. So I'm not going to go all the way there. So I have the guy working here. There's a guy, Kabbalah, from guy. I said, "You want money here? Go to him." He said, "Go." I send him. This is exactly it. I'm the malva. I lent money to the gemach. He goes every month, but the guy says, I'm not going to give you a dime unless you have a letter, signed, piece of paper, nothing, just a scribble. Eli said, take that amount of money. Okay, every month the same thing. Huh? And this month I was in America, so I forgot I lost my money. I have to wait until next month. What? He's not a real. He's picking up.
It's different.
Okay, yeah. I sent him. Correct.
It's different.
And I told him over here. I told Shimon. It's different. I'll explain why. I tell the gemach. I said, give him the money. If you give, as soon as the money goes to him, you're finished. But over here,
it's as if you got it.
Yes, it's as if I got it. But over here, it's different. I didn't call up Shimon. I didn't say over here. Reuven didn't call up the gemach. He didn't call up Shimon and say, "Hey, give it to my guy." What is it? It's a quasi kind of shliach. It's like it's a recommendation kind of thing. It's like he's a good guy. That's what the Gemara is going to explain. You know what? He's a very he's a Haimish driver. Very good. He's a Haimish driver. You could trust him. I don't. You could. If there's a problem, he gets in an accident, somebody robs it from him, you owe me the money. So let's see it inside. There's a little different. Itmar. Shaliach shaso be'idim. Rav Chizda Omar have a shaliach. Rabbi Omar le have a shaliach. Rav Chizda says he's a real shliach. Rabbi says it's not a shliach. What's going on here? Rav Chizda Omar have a shliach. Lachi tarche or tarach va'ikme be'idim. He went. He what's the word? He made him a shliach. I forgot the word. He made him a shliach in front of Edom. The Leiku B'Shusay. He appointed, exact word I was looking for. He appointed him a shliach in front of Edom. The Leiku B'Shusay. You give it to him, it's as if you gave it to me. Rabbi Amar lo have a shliach. Chachik Amar. Inish mehenu. He's a very trustworthy person. If you want to take the risk, great. If you want to send it to me, that's your thing. He's not my shliach. He's your shliach. So now we have to understand how does this fit into other sugyas. It's not. Famous sugya, shoyel sapara. Somebody wants to borrow a cow. Yeah? In those days, cow, like a car, like a tractor. So the guy lending the cow sent the cow with his own son to bring it down the block. Now the question is, when does it begin? When is it considered that he borrowed the cow? From the time that he gave it to his son to walk it down the block, or when it gets to the borrower? With a slave. Oh, so here we have a shliach. No, so once I give it to the shliach, shouldn't it be as if the person received it, the borrower received it? No. Or the agent of the borrower. And the cow died. Potter. He's potter. Why? Because he didn't say specifically that I'm giving you the cow to be, and you're the shliach. I'm appointing you to be instead of the borrower. He didn't say that. He just said, there, take it over there. There was a woman who was bringing her dog from America to Eretz Yisrael on a plane, and not like today, this giant German Shepherd comes on the plane. It's a service dog. You go to every doctor and they say, yeah, you have a mental problem. You need a dog with you. You could get any dog, untrained, this big, doesn't matter. Service dog sits, it barks the whole flight. It runs up and down the aisle. It doesn't matter. It's a service dog. You're not allowed to say a word. If you do, they put you in jail. So this lady, she takes her dog. She puts it in a cage and she puts it underneath with the luggage. They land here in Eretz Yisrael. The guy, he opens up the luggage, and unfortunately, he sees the dog's dead. He's a big chacham. Makes some phone calls. He says, listen, we got to do something quickly. What kind of dog is it? It's a Shih Tzu. Okay, let's go real quick. They go to the store. They buy a new one. Take the thing. They put a new one in there, and they close the cage. So the lady comes, and she picks up her dog. She starts screaming. It's not my dog. My dog. So the guy says, how do you know it's not your dog? He says, I brought a dead dog. I was supposed to bury the dog in Eretz Yisrael. What are you putting in the dog? Says the Gemara, Hai shluchei chidami. Hai shluchei chidami. So the guy, the lender gives it to shliach. The borrower sends a shliach. What kind of shliach are we talking about? If there's no edim, how do we even know he's a shliach? Who said he's a shliach? We have witnesses that he appointed him shliach. And it says that the shliach is not considered a real shliach. Rav Chizda says that if you appoint the shliach, he's a real shliach. Over here you see he's not a real shliach. We're talking about b'schiroi likitoi. There's a concept we're going to see in a few lines. He answers that's talking about a schiroi likitoi. Yeah? Sometimes you have a person that does things for you. He works for you. He's your guy. Everybody in the neighborhood knows. When this guy shows up, oh, he works for so-and-so. He's your socher. It's your man. Or, Rashi says, very interesting, he's your housemate. I wouldn't have said the story if it didn't happen literally. The guy told to me 2 days ago when I was in Miami. When I went for that plunge, I don't know how many days ago, 3, 4 days, whatever it was. No. Everybody knows that it's a schira. Everybody knows that the guy lives here. This guy, so my son made me mishpacha if you didn't hear, because I wasn't here. There's a thing in America called a cold plunge. It's you cool off the water to 38 degrees or whatever, and you see if you have mental strength. If you're able to go into the water and not jump out, flee.
It's not cold.
What do you have it in people's houses? Those who, I know somebody doesn't turn on the hot water, it's too expensive. Whatever. There are things like that. Okay, fine. Kitzer, my son said you have to do it. It gives you this clarity, and he gives you, it releases this and does that. It's scientifically proven. It's very, very good to do 11 minutes a week. Let's see if you can do it. So let's see if you can do it. I dare him all the time. Let's jump out of a plane. Let's do this. Let's do that. So he's daring me now. So he comes and he picks me up and says, we got to go right now. Okay, go to the guy's backyard. The guy's mamish into it. He has this thing, and he has a cooling machine, and tells you exactly the temperature. 24/7, it's running, and you climb up these steps. He gives me a whole thing, how you do it, you breathe it. Kids, I jump in there, fine. While I'm in there, he tells me this Maisa. I figured if he told me the Maisa, then I have to tell the other Maisa, even though it's not so to get to the Sugya. So he said that his next door, he says, you see that house right over there? Really, next door. He says, there's 2 95-year-olds living in there for years. They share the house. They keep each other company. He says, he gets a message, the guy is on his last day. A Jewish guy. He says, oh, Jewish guy, I have to go there. But the problem is they want to cremate him. And he's Lubavitch. He says, no way, I'm not going to let this happen the last day. He starts schmoozing with him on his last day. Mamash, a few hours before the guy dies, he says, listen, Jewish, you can't be cremated, and you got to Kever Yisrael. He says, no, cremated. He says, okay, at least say Shema Yisrael and Vidui. They say Shema and Vidui and the whole thing. And then the guy dies. And they cremated him. Then he tells me, like a few hours later, the guy calls him and says, don't feel bad. The guy, he was adopted. He never had a gerus. He's a guy. So he goes, oi! I said Shema and Vidui with this guy. Whatever, okay. But anyway, I just thought about Likitoi. Rashi says, you take a guy to keep you company in your house. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that if you see the 95-year-old guy, you know that he's going to bring the money to the other 95. They've been there for 95 years in the same house. So that's not a shliach. That's not a good shliach. Schiroi also. Yeah, I had this guy. The guy is now, I haven't seen him. He's been in Jenin for the last literally 3.5 months. Eli Rosen. He worked for me every day. So if somebody, he went to the cleaner with this car, people knew. If he comes, it's okay. You could be sorry, he'll bring it to Eli. But it's not a shliach. I didn't say, hey, if you give it to him, you're not chayiv, you are chayiv. I didn't say that. He's a sachir. He's a lokit. It's not. It says in our Mishnah, now we have to understand our Mishnah. If you want to be yotzei your mitzvah, by the way, the Vilna Gaon told a Russia, he said, I'm very jealous of you for one thing. There's one mitzvah that you could keep and I can't keep. Okay. I allow you guys to steal from me and be mekayim the mitzvah. It's okay. Yeah, you want to be mekayim? It's not. So what's going on here? It says before you shouldn't give to the kid, you shouldn't give to the shliach. What kind of shliach we're talking about? If there's no edim, how do I know that? Same question as before. We know that he's a shliach. So over here, this is not a real shliach. This is somebody that everybody knows that he works for him. He's close to him, and therefore you could rely on him, but he's not a real shliach. And that's why you're not yotzei dechayva if you give the gneva to that kind of person. He's not a real shliach. But a real shliach, seems like then it's a real shliach. So if so, the classic question, why does the Mishnah go on to say a special case? There's a special agent that is appointed by the Bezdin, and to him you could give it, that's already a hard shliach to find. Just say, this case that we're talking about, shliach shaso be'edim, a real shliach that you appointed, not Bezdin. Hachanami dav shliach. Amri. No. You're right. A shliach that you made and you appointed would be good. And the Mishnah could say it. The reason why the Mishnah didn't say it, because it's not a universal law. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Whereas the shliach of the Bezdin is universal, there's no questions asked. That what? Shliach Bezdin leishna so nigzav leishna so gazlan. I don't care who appointed him, the shliach of the Bezdin, whether the guy that was robbed or the robber. He's have a shliach. Psikolei, so that's why it says it in the Mishnah. Shliach so be'edim. But the shliach that you yourself make, but it only works one way. So nigzal who have a shliach. Only the person that was robbed, he can make him a shliach Bezdin to receive it. So gazlan lo have a shliach. But if the robber appointed a shliach Bezdin, it's not a good shliach lepsikale. That's why it's not in the Mishnah. Well, that puki ma'itano. But you see what?
What does it mean it's not shliach? If it doesn't mean shliach.
You're not yoitza hashavas gzeila. If I'm a ganav and I make you my shliach to bring it to Ruvain, and no, you didn't give it, and then it got lost from you, I'm still chayiv. That's a takana to show. That's a takana, special takana. Says the Gemara, Lapuke Mahaitana, but this Tana argues the lashon is a little interesting to see it. The Sanya Reb Shimon and Lazar Omer Shliach Bezdin Shaso Nigzal V'Leso Gazlan. If the one that was robbed made a Shliach Bezdin, great. Oh Yaso Gazlan. Listen to this. But if the robber so over here, it has to be if the Gazlan did it, he has to take it from him, then he's potter. This is like what Rav Chizda said, that it does work. If I make a shliach, it's good shliach. But what about our Mishnah says, don't give it to a shliach? Seems like a shliach is no good. Very interesting. He refers him to a shliach. Hey, by the way, that guy seems like a good shliach for you. He didn't make him a shliach. I have a problem. I'm trying to get money from so-and-so. He lives in another place. He has excuses. He keeps on saying that he doesn't come around. He wants to give it to me, but he just, he's far away. It's chazile. Go to him. See if he could show up over there. Dilma inishu. Maybe he can't find anybody to send it, and you'll be the right person to bring it. But I'm not making you a shliach. I'm recommending you. I still want that guy to take full responsibility. You could say that we're not talking about a real shliach. We're talking about somebody that he's familiar with, and he's confused with the shliach, but it's not a real shliach. Daf Amud Beis. So let's say here, this is mamish here. My story. This is more my story. That I have a gemach. I have money by the gemach. I send Elia. I said, Elia, go there on Rosh Chodesh, pick up my money. It says over here, don't give him the money, even if he comes with a signed document. Doesn't work. Even if there's eidim on the document. No. The guy from the Gemach knows that I sent him. Don't fall for it, says the Gemara. If you send the money with this guy, it's your problem. If something happens to the money, you're going to have to pay him again. You could send it with that. I was always wondering, like I told my chavrusa a number of times to give this guy money. No, only if there's a signed paper makes the guy mishugim. Well, he's from guy. No. Let's do it the real way, the right way. Sign, yeah? Amri. But Rabbi Yochanan says signing is good. Sign with Eidim, it's okay. Amri l'shmuel maitakanta. We're gonna go crazy. We gotta get the money somehow back forth. But it's key, like, okay, we're taking a chrais. Yeah, you're right. If something happens, I'll take responsibility, but let's get it going. Rabbi Abba was owed money from Rav Yosef Bar Chama. We had in this Masech already. Rav Yosef Bar Chama is who? Rava's father. Amalei Rav Safra. So Rav Abba tells Rav Safra, I heard that you're traveling. If you're going to that city, do me a favor. Knock on the door over there. Get my money from Rav's father. So Rav Safra goes to that city. He knocks on the door. Who opens the door? Rava. Do you have a release? Could you show me you have a release from Rebaba? I'm going to give you money. And then Rebaba is going to come to me again and say, you owe me money. I need some document, a receipt. I don't have a receipt. I don't have a release. Go take your trip back the month, back forth, come back with a receipt, then we'll talk. But there's still Shmuzinu has it going. All of a sudden he says, you know what? Come to think of it, because of Lachnami's Gabalti, even if you give me a receipt, I can't do it. I can't give you the money. Why? Lav Klumu, it's nothing. Dilma, Adaosis, until you get here, I guess it was a pretty decent trip. Shachiv Rabbi Abba. Maybe Rabbi Abba will be nifter. Now, why would I think that a nice and healthy guy will die? Says Rashi, he wasn't healthy. He was an old man. Rabbi Abba was an old man at the time. He was a zaken. So Mela have to be choishish that he's not going to make it. And so let's think about this. Let's say Rabbi Abba dies. Rabbi Abba gives a receipt, a release. If Rava or Rava's father pays me back in a month, then here's the receipt. You don't have to pay me back the money. Now Rabbi Abba's nifter. And now the Yarshim get the money. The Yarshim never wrote a receipt. The father wrote a receipt and he never got the money when he was alive, so the receipt is nothing. Receipt is zero. Yarshim are going to come pick up the money, then they're going to come again and pick up the money. Receipt from somebody that never got the money. Who cares?
I owed him the money. I have a receipt.
You have a receipt from somebody that's not in existence. You didn't get the money when he was alive. You got the money when he was dead. You could write a receipt before. No. You have to get the money. By the wrong person. From the caver. A guy in a caver wrote it. Yeah, but in this case, that's what I'm saying. In this case, Rabbi was an old man. Yeah. Okay, this is great. We have a problem here. How do I get the money though? I'm here. I'm at the door. You owe them. You agree that you owe Rabbi money, so pay. What do you want me to do? Zil nakninu loch agavaro. The only way is with a kinyan agav. Kinyan agav. Let's say this guy buys a property. So together with the property, you can buy a cat, an oven, or here's another one. You buy a piece of property, give you the size of a needle, a tiny piece of property. You give him like a piece of your roof on the top that you don't need. And then because he bought a piece of property, you can buy other things as well. This was the sugya when he gave 100 sheep and 100. Okay. Agav. So now, get a piece of property from him. Listen what's happening here. This is a lot of trust. Rav Safra is going to buy a piece of property from Rav Abba, and Rav Safra is going to own all the money owed to Rav Abba. Then he's going to go and collect it. He's going to come knock on the door. Rav is going to give him the money that's owed now to who? To Rav Safra. Then Rav Safra is going to give that money to Rav Abba. Rav Abba is going to have to trust him that he's not going to steal him. He's not going to steal on the way. There's a lot of trust between Rabab and Rav Safra, not so much with Rabab and Rava. Okay?
It won't be stealing.
Huh?
It won't be stealing.
Who's stealing?
It won't be stealing.
Why? No, you have to be legit. I'm giving you all the money that Rava owes me. Rava's father owes me. It's yours. For himself. Otherwise, he can't pick it up. If it's not Rav Safra's, how can he pick it up? He has to come to Rava's house, to Rava's father's house, knock on the door and says, you owe me $1,000, pay me. Why do you owe me $1,000? Because Rav Abba gave me the money. How? With the Kinyan Agav. Now, what they asked, the Rishonim talk about is, where's that money? It's a loan. You can't give a loan. You can give a pile of cash. But this is a loan, and a milva lehai sa nitna. Okay, they talk about it. And to do a Kinyan Chalipin on money doesn't work. So this is the only way to do it. Kihad Rapapa. The story, same story happened with Rapapa. Have a massive trace alpha zuzah bei chayza. Somebody in bei chayza owed him 2,000 zuz, 12,000 zuz. Akninu nahali Rav Shmuel bar Abba, agav asifa de beise. So he did something like this, Rabbi say. Here's Rav Papa's house. It even says on the door, Moran Hagoyin Rav Papa. Asifa de beise is like this area right over there in red, somewhere like that, like the threshold. And he basically sold the threshold to Rav Shmuel bar Abba. Now Rav Shmuel bar Abba became the owner of the 12,000 zuz. And he says, you go over there and you collect your 12,000 zuz. We're good friends. You'll give it back to me one day. It worked. He got the 12,000 zuz. Rav Papa was so excited, says Rashi, because he got his money back. He went all the way to Tavach to greet him. The question that I had is, and Baruch Hashem, I saw that the Yam Shloim asked the question, why in the world would Rav Papa be excited about some money? First of all, he was very wealthy. He used to sell beer. He's known to be a wealthy Amoira. So happy. And imagine, the Chofetz Chaim, so excited he got $1,000. He went all the way from Radin to Varsha. It doesn't make any sense. Why Chofetz Chaim cares about a few grushim? So the Yam Shloim says, you say, Chaviv alem amoyim this, and they worked hard on their money. So he says, he was excited that there's a way to be makna somebody, kinyan agav, and that it works, and that for generations, you see that the Gemara says, look, Rav Papa also did it, let's do it like that as well. And for that he was happy. And then he writes the Yam Shloim, he goes, K'shem that I was dan Rav Papa l'kav zechus, Kadosh Baruch Hu should be dan mi l'kav zechus, says the Yam Shloim. Okay. Says the Gemara, Nasan leisa Karen. If the Ganav paid the principal, but he didn't pay the chaymesh, you don't have to go all the way to Madai for a chaymesh. Says the Gemara, Amo chaymesh mamaynu. Let's just see for a second a chaymesh, right? You have $1, you stole $1, you stole $100, you have to pay $125. Why is it a chaymesh? Because once you pay $125, then it becomes a fifth. You view it as a fifth. Fine. But you see that this fifth is mammon. What does that mean, mammon? I could sue somebody in court. If somebody stole from me and he owes me the fifth and he doesn't pay me, I could sue him for it. It's not like, oh, he's doing me a favor, he's doing a mitzvah, it's l'fnei mishur sadin. No, it's real money he owes me. He doesn't have to go all the way to Madai to pay it. How do I see it? From the fact that the Mishnah says that you don't have to go to Madai, it seems like, okay, you don't have to go to Madai, but you still have to pay it. To the point that if the Ganav dies, he still has to pay it to the inheritors. Usnan, I'll prove it. It says in our Mishnah, if he swore falsely that he doesn't owe the 25%, he has to pay another 6.25 for the chaymesh and the chaymesh. You see, how do you see? Because there's no swearing falsely if it's not money. If it's l'fnei mishur sadin loan or whatever it is, you don't have to. There's no swearing falsely. You don't pay chaymesh on it. You pay chaymesh and you bring a carbon on real money that you really owe, 100% that you owe. So you see, the fact that you have to pay another chaymesh on it, it means that it's real money that can be sued in bezin. Yeah, there's some cases in Shas where you don't really owe the guy. It's l'fnei mishur sadin kind of thing, and you swear falsely in that, you wouldn't pay a chaymesh. A person stole and he swore to him umeis and he died. Yorshim mishalem keren v'chaymesh. So we have to remember this. The Yerush pays the principal that I get, but he even pays the chaymesh. And we're going to see a stira. It says in the Brisa you don't pay the chaymesh. Just want to bring up a quick story that they say that Reb Chaim Volozhiner had a Talmud that was coming to yeshiva, going from yeshiva, and he died. And his Talmud came to him in a dream and said, "Listen, I owe one of the hotels. I promised her I'll come back and give her on the way back. I'll pay the rest that I owed her, and I'm dead. So could you please take care of it?" So Chaim Volozhiner said, "What the Bachar was so chashav that he was able to take care of these things. You see that you're supposed to take care of these things." And we see later also, I might forget, but Rashi says that it's for the kavod hameis at the end of the sugya. Kavod avim, the last words in Rashi on this Amud, or kavod avim, Rashi right before that. I don't know if we'll get there, but akopanim. Take care of business now. If you owe people money, you pay now. Because in that world, it's a big problem. Some people come back and you have to come back to pay. Yosem doesn't bring a carbon for a father. Why? Asham is a kapara. It's for tshuva. There is no tshuva after death. Even if the father set aside, Rashi says, the asham, you don't bring it. You don't bring a carbon for a dead person. It's too late. The Yarsh b'nei Shalume chumsha adavuna what? A Yarsh has to pay the chaymesh. Reminu adanani oimer a masay einoi misham chaymesh. So pay attention to these words because we have very similar words later on the carrot. Over here it says, when don't you pay the chaymesh? Agezel aviv for the fathers. So it says before, you don't pay the chaymesh. You don't pay the 25% for the father. A second ago we said you do pay the 25%. So I just want to show you real quickly. These are the four options, very, very simple. If the son and the father swore falsely that the father didn't steal, or the son and the father didn't swear falsely, or the son swore falsely, the father didn't, or the father swore falsely and the son didn't. Okay? Simple, four simple things. Just not to get confused. Just a lot of words, but very simple. So the son doesn't have to pay the fifth in all four cases. Obviously. If both the father and him, nobody swore, so there's no chaimish, if there's no swearing. But in a case, let's say he swore, not his father. Both swore. Minayin, how do you know that the son doesn't pay? Take a look at this pasuk. Look at this. 4 words. Gzeila, oyshek, pikadin, aveda. Those are these 4 things right here. We have 4 words in the pasuk that are extra. Tell us these 4 cases. So it says mefurish, you don't pay a chaimish. On the one hand, it says the son does pay for the father a chaimish. Which one is it? We already went for all 4. Swearing, not swearing, both of them swear. You don't pay a chaimish. When the father admitted when he was alive that he owes the money, that he owes the chaimish, then the son has to take care of business. Karen says Gemara, the father didn't admit, so he doesn't have to pay. Ask Gemara, if the father never admitted, so the son doesn't even have to pay principal. So okay, you're right, he doesn't have to pay the principal. But if the Gemara is talking about whether he has to pay the fifth or not, remember the Karen Mishal. Obviously, he does have to pay the principal. So this is similar lashon, but very different. It says, when do you have to pay the keren? Before we said, when don't you have to pay the chaimish? When don't you have to pay the 25%? Over here we're saying, when do you have to pay the keren? Agezel aviv, when the father stole something and he died. Bisman, so look at the chart. Same exact 4 options. When they both swore falsely, they both didn't swear falsely. One of them swore falsely, either the father or the son. 4 options. Bisman shenish how do you know that the son has to pay the principal? Here's the pasuk, beautiful. All 4 things. So the Gemara says a very interesting lashon. Yesh Talmud. Yesh Talmud means, do we have a pasuk for it? And Rav Huna was saying this over. So Rabbi told his father, Rav Huna, Yesh Talmud Kamar Mar. So some want to prove from it, when you speak to your father, you speak with such derech eretz, you say, my master. Yesh Talmud Kamar Mar or Yesh Talmud Kamar Mar. Think about it. They sound almost the same. Yesh Talmud or Yesh Talmud. Yesh Talmud, if you drop the dalet at the end, it sounds like Yesh Talmud. Yesh Talmud, Yesh Talmud. Yesh Talmud means, is it going to be paid? Somebody told me that there's a gears in the Gemara that there was a certain tkufa in Klal Yisroel where the guy said that you can't put the word Talmud in the Talmud. It has to say Shas. So it said Yish Talmud or Yeshas. Anyway, so it says like this. Sorry, Yesh Talmud Kamina. Says Gemara. Yesh Talmud Kamina. Here's the pasuk. You see the pasuk? I learned from a pasuk. So how come the Brisa says that you don't have to pay the chaimish? If the father never admitted to it, but the son says, listen, my father's a ganav, he stole. So then he doesn't have to pay the chaimish. Let's stop over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Shir Hamalois Mimamakim Grosicha Adinoi.